Couple other things that I want to discuss on the way up out of here, because we're going to keep this live show kind of short. We're not going to go for the full hour tonight. I wanted to give it about half an hour because, well, it's been a Saturday for your boy. It has been a Saturday for all of us. And the games really came down to Alabama, Tennessee, which we talked about earlier today. For me, right? Michigan took a big loss to Illinois. Illinois got a big win, personal for Brett Bielema, who's had a lot of family events happen around the Michigan game, and it ain't always been going well for him. Him to get this win against a top 25 opponent really puts them in a driver's seat. We talked about Indiana sunning Nebraska earlier today, announcing themselves over their beaten body. But I thought what was a great way to go out of this is to talk about what I think the top 25 will look like for me on Sunday. And you know what? I got to say, I think I'm ahead on this one. I think I'm a week ahead of y'all on this one because I made Oregon the number one team in the country last week after they beat Ohio State. And people were going, RJ, you just mad because Texas beat Oklahoma. Nah, not even a little bit. Not like that. That doesn't impact the rankings. Good wins impact the rankings. That was a damn good win. That was a great Ohio State team that Oregon beat 32-31. Okay? This week, only difference is Georgia took a loss. They took a loss to Alabama. Alabama took a loss to Vanderbilt, and now Tennessee. State of Tennessee, undefeated against Alabama this year. Go figure, right? So I got Oregon at number one. They sunned Purdue 35-0 on Friday night. I know Purdue ain't nobody, but they put up 40 in the second half against the Illinois team that beat the brakes off of Michigan today. Maybe Oregon's a really good football team, guys. Number two, I got Georgia. That's the best win in college football. They defeat Texas in Austin, on the road, in front of a raucous crowd where everybody was throwing stuff at them. Even the officials who were making the officiating this year has just been god awful. I don't know what's going on there, man. But they get the best win. Had they not lost to Alabama, they'd be number one going away. As it is, Georgia has been number one, Alabama's been number one, Texas has been number one, and it looks like Oregon's going to be number one. Number three, I got Ohio State. They were idle this week, but you know, it's becoming hot under the collar for Ryan Day, who's going to need to not only finish the rest of the season undefeated, but you win the Big Ten championship and try to secure that top four seeding in the college football playoff selection committee when it comes time to seed the top four seeding to get that bye. Number four, Penn State. I mean, they get in the blue blood tax exemption. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure that Penn State's that good, but they are that undefeated, so we'll leave them there. Texas, I'm going to drop to 5. This is your first loss. It's a loss against a team that I expect to play in the SEC championship game now, and a team that, frankly, could win the national championship, even if Carson Beck ain't that good. Also, y'all need to get Carson Beck out of your first-round mock drafts. I didn't see it going into this year, and now I hope the rest of y'all don't see it neither after what we saw against Texas. But, you know, I can't change your mind on that. Miami defeats Louisville 52-45. Great game once again from Cam Ward, 21-32, 4 passing TDs, and a rollicking win against the Cardinals. It means that Miami is also going to be favored in every game they play for the rest of the year. So there's every expectation from me that they finish the season undefeated. They also scored 50 points for the 4th time this season. That's the first team in Miami Hurricanes program history to score 50 points or more in 4 games through the first 7 games of the season. Remarkable feat for them. Shannon Dawson, short list of the Broyles Award, put out that top 5 on Friday. You can go check that out. He is on that list. Also means that the Canes are 7-0 for the first time since 2017. Number 7, I got Clemson. They defeated Virginia 48-31. Tigers have looked like the best position challenger to Miami. And then you look around, there's a couple other teams that also could be in there. We'll talk about in the top 25. But since getting thumped by Georgia 34-3, they put up damn near 40 on everybody they played but Florida State, who they beat 29 to whatever. It doesn't matter. It's Florida State. Sorry. Iowa State, they defeat UCF 38-35 with the help of, my goodness, Braden Marshall, who had a pick six that he should have ran back for a TD. Look for the world like it's a TD. And every single year, we get it. Every single year, some guy decides to drop the football right before breaking the plane to a touchdown, and it is a fumble, and it is not 6 points. Iowa State takes advantage of that. They go get the win. Rocco Beck was outstanding in it, 274 pass yards, 97 rush yards. They improve to 7-0. Best start to a season for them since 1938. BYU at number 9, dramatic come from behind win to beat Oklahoma State on Friday night. I loved watching that game. BYU looks like a Texas Christian for me of 2022. That's not an insult. That's actually me saying you can make the national championship game, maybe not win the damn thing, but it's a magical season for you nonetheless. Also, you're breaking 4 tackles on the way to the game-winning TD. Jake Retzloff, stones, man. Stones. Number 10, I got LSU, a definitive victory against Arkansas on the road, 34-10. Cade Durham broke loose for 101 yards, 3 rush TDs. This was a tight game until the third quarter when, frankly, Taylon Green threw a ball in the air. Whit Weeks knocked that ball down, caught that fumble, and then there we go, right? And you get on the goal line, you go crush that in. Whit Weeks is becoming a talisman on that defense, man. Meanwhile, Garrett Nussmeier continues to be that guy as LSU is undefeated in SEC play. Tennessee is at 11 for me. They defeat Alabama 24-17. Great game for everybody named Dylan Sampson. By everybody, I just mean Dylan Sampson, who had over 100 rush yards in the second half of a win. That was a really tight game up until the end. Nico Iamaleava still haven't thrown for 200 yards against an SEC team, and still, that defense is a monster, and Dylan Sampson is a monster. If they get this passing game figured out with him not overthrowing people, they could be really, really good toward the end. At number 12, I got Indiana, man. 56-7 destruction of Nebraska. Kurt Cignetti's squad is one of 3 undefeated teams in the Big Ten. It's them, it's Penn State, it's Ohio State. That is the number 3 and number 4 teams in my top 25, and then Indiana. Put some respect on their name as they look like one of the 12 best teams in all of college football. Notre Dame defeats Georgia Tech 31-13. Fighting Irish come back from a 7-0 deficit to score 31 straight. The second week in a row that, they let the other team score first before pouring it on, but they are a one-loss team, and their only loss is to the team I got ranked behind them right now. Might end up flipping that. Texas A&M, I think I am going to flip that. Texas A&M to 13, and then Notre Dame to 14. So we're going to flip that because we're going to respect that A&M went on the road. 13 is going to stay Notre Dame because Notre Dame beat Texas A&M on the road. I had it right the first time. Why am I messing up my own ranking? Then I got A&M, as I said. They beat Mississippi State 24-17. All of a sudden, looks like they found a pulse the last couple of weeks, right? Michael Van Buren has really changed the way that team is reflected on the football field, especially when you talk about box scores. They're not getting sunned anymore. They're staying in ball games. They made Texas A&M work for this one. Missouri at 15. They defeat Auburn 21-17. It was a game that Auburn threw away. They're up 17-6 in the fourth quarter, and they let Missouri get back in the building. Not for nothing, but Brady Cook gets hurt, goes to the hospital for an MRI, comes back, warms up in the indoor, and then goes back into the game. Football player, my guys, football player. I wouldn't have let him do that, but Eli Drinkwitz is like, hey, we got to have it. So they went and they got it. Auburn gonna Auburn. I don't know what y'all going to do with Hugh Freeze, but I don't expect it's going to be anything good. Number 16, Boise State's idle. Kansas State destroys West Virginia 45-18. Man, they said we're going to sell out to stop DJ Giddens running the football, and Avery Johnson said, night, 19-29, 298, 3 TDs. What you want? They're off to their best start since 2014, 6-1. They look like a challenger for one of the 12 teams, and I don't know. They could be there at the end for the Big 12 championship. Illinois, I had talked about a little bit. They defeat Michigan 21-7. They held Michigan to the fewest points that they have scored since 2010, and they get their first win against Michigan since 2009. And they become the first. They knock off Michigan, which means that Michigan has lost back-to-back games for the first time since 2020. All of a sudden, no Connor Stallions. Michigan look cheeks again. Maybe that's just me drawing a straight line to conclusion. Number 19, Alabama. That's where I dropped them to after their loss to Tennessee. They got 2 losses. Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Alabama. You belong to the state of Tennessee right as of now. Somebody is smoking cigars twice. If you're a Vanderbilt fan, you're probably smoking a cigar twice. You feel like, hey, we did that too. Hey, Tennessee, can we be friends now? Can we be partners? You know what I'm saying? They're like, no, you live in Nashville. We from Knoxville. Let's not, we not partners. We're nothing alike. Number 20, we got Pitt, who's undefeated, but also idle. Ole Miss, they're 21, they're idle. Southern Methodist Sons, Stanford, just took the tree and beat them to death with it. Just stomped out the Cardinals. Kevin Jennings went for throwing 300 yards, 3 TDs, and a pick in the win. Army routs East Carolina 45-28. Bryson Daly got the Black Knights out here, man. Rolling. I mean, it's biker boys all off in there, man. It's Lawrence Fishburne on the bike. Bryson Daly went for 5 TDs, 318 total yards, 171 yards on the ground. And then Navy stomps a mud hole in Charlotte and walks it dry. It was 38-0 with 10:24 left in the second damn quarter. Blake Horvath had 3 passing TDs in that game. And then Deshaun Peele became the first Navy midshipman to record not 1 but 2 picks for return for touchdowns in school history. And then I think I'm going to end up putting Colorado there at 25. That was a really great win against Arizona today. They get to 5-2 for the first time since 2005. That is the Joel Klatt era of quarterback. That's how long that's been. That's damn near 20 years ago, right? Joel been in this job for the better part of a decade now. Point there being, Colorado might actually be good, and they're one win away from bowl eligibility. And what was more impressive to me about this is that they go up, right? They scored 28 in the first half, and Travis Hunter already played 54 snaps. And because the shoulder kind of was messing up, Prime just said, shut it down. No, we're not messing with that. Go get your street clothes on in the second half. We don't need you no way. And they didn't. They kept their foot right on Arizona's neck, and that's what it was. That's what you want to see. They play complementary football offensively, defensively, and they did it mostly without Travis Hunter. That gives me hope that Colorado might actually be about something in the second half of the season, unlike last year. See what I say? Right at 30 minutes as we're about to wrap this thing up. If you like the show, please subscribe to the channel. We're chasing 115,000 subscribers. Been a rough week for your boy. I'll leave that there. So the content was not as good as it normally was the last week. That's on me. Take full responsibility for that. That's why we're doing this, and we're doing this right here, trying to keep it tight. All right, I will see y'all on Sunday when we take a look at the AP and what the hell it is that they're going to rank. They're probably, I swear, man, if y'all still got Texas number 1, I'm coming here to flamethrow. All right, that's going to be it for me tonight. Doses.